Hey, there we go. Back again. For those of you who are just joining me, my name is Barry Selby. This is actually my Peri-tips channel. I do 2 channels a day now. One is my love scope, the right way around, and the second one is Peri-tips, which is this one. So if you want to find out more about love and relationships and romance, watch my other scope because I'm not covering it here. If you're learning about Periscope, I'm going to put out some basic ones, a very basic one today, because some people are still stuck at the beginning of how to do their first Periscope. My name is Barry Selby, by the way, again, and my website is barryselby.com, so you can find out all about my love coaching stuff there. This is about Peri-tips. Thanks for the hearts, I love them. Thanks so much. Periscope is an amazing place to play. And a little promotion, hello to you too. And in terms of Periscope, it's a great venue to share your message. Now, I have a pet peeve, and I'm going to share it here, and that's not part of my Peri-tips, but I'm a big fan of people on Periscope who share a powerful message that is a force for good in the world, and that's what I'm about in my work. There are many people on Periscope on the broadcasting side who seem to be doing it for fame and glory. I don't follow those people anymore because they're not adding to my life. You know, when you're watching someone's 10-minute scope about walking down the street to the Starbucks because they want to be seen by all their fans, that's 10 minutes I don't get back. You know what I mean? So I'm a fan of people who speak a message of value that contributes to other people. So for me, Periscope is a powerful tool in my own work and in the audience that I get to share and inspire and coach. If that's true for you, awesome, because I like following you do the same thing. But this scope is actually a tip, so I'm going to get back to why I'm doing this Periscope today. When you do your first Periscope, your first scope broadcast, there's a few little options that you may or may not know about. I'm going to cover one of them now, and I'll probably touch into the other 2 at the same time because they're all relevant to getting started. That first time you do a Periscope can be very daunting, and so you might do it, not sure what you're doing, you may make a mistake and everything else. So let me give you a couple of quick keys. One of them, which I mentioned before in a previous scope, is write out your title of what you want to say first before you put it into the scope. And don't do an untitled scope. It's really challenging sometimes to go, why would I bother watching someone's scope if I don't know why I should watch it? So a simple, clear, ideally entertaining, invitational, exciting message like your title would be great to put in your scope. Once you've done that, thank you for the hearts there. Also be aware there's 4 little buttons above the start broadcast. The red button, the start broadcast, which that red button is kind of daunting for some people. But right above it there's 4 little buttons. And I'm going to tell you what those are so you know what you're using them for and how they help you. The first one is a little arrow. If it's not lit up, your location is hidden. When Periscope first came out, that location app was very accurate, which was a little bit like stealing your privacy. So it wasn't good, so people didn't do it. They fixed it now. Actually, they fixed it a while back now, where the location is now more general, like more of a wider view of where you live, so it's the town, not the street you live on. So it's good to keep that on because apparently, according to what the statistics say, the location icon gives you more visibility to a wider audience. So it's good to have that turned on. So if it's lit up and it's flashing or pulsing, that's a good thing. The second button over from the arrow, is the padlock one. Yes, it's the padlock button. And the padlock is your security, meaning privacy. If you tap on that, it lets you choose who gets to watch your Periscope. So if you don't want a general public one, tap on it, because if you leave it off, it's for everybody. Tap it on, it'll bring up a list of your users who you follow or who follow you, and you can select and sub-select within that who gets to watch your scope. That's good if you want to do like a private scope for certain people, but generally speaking, you probably won't need that one, but you can leave it on if you want. That's the second button. The third button is a speech bubble. The speech bubble is a simple on-off switch, which basically basically indicates who can actually comment on your scope. For example, if you're watching the scope, you can type anything you want in and it shows up, because on mine, I don't turn that on. If you turn it on, it limits who can comment. I think it's only the people you follow or who follow you can actually comment, so the general public can't. I have an audience that seems to be all over the map, not just my own followers. So I'd rather have the ability for anybody to talk and interact because I want to help anybody with my work. Simple enough. That's the third button. The fourth button on the far side, which will come back in my head in a minute. I just lost track of the buttons. Oh, that was good. The fourth button is the... Excuse me while I rewind my brain. the arrow, the padlock, speech bubble, and the fourth button along is the... Oh, thank you. I knew it was in my head somewhere. The Twitter icon. It's the bird. That was cute. That button serves simple purpose to notify Twitter when you do your scope. A couple of keys with that. It's good to promote, obviously, to share on Twitter. If you do that, it will then make sure there's a link to it on Twitter. But the second thing is, if you're using what I've recommended to people as well, called catch.me, it's a website with a katch.me, that's where it stores your periscopes ongoing. So after 24 hours, the scopes on Periscope disappear, but on Catch they live there, which is useful. By hitting the Twitter icon, the fourth icon across, and leaving it lit, Catch knows that. You put it on a Periscope and it will save it for you automatically. So if you don't turn that on, Catch won't know. That's a little caveat. So if you didn't know about that, that's a good thing to know. So always have the Twitter icon on. So that's the 4 icons, just to recap. First one's location. Recommendation, leaving it on so you're more visible. It doesn't give your street address away anymore, thankfully. It lets you get seen more easily. The second icon across, do you know the first horrible? I don't know about the private lock. Well, the good news is if you didn't save it anywhere in 24 hours, it's gone. If that's anything to make you feel better. And I'll tell you in a minute about how you can get faster, better, quicker, and faster, if I remember to say that. So let me go back again. So first icon again is the arrow. Location, it's safe now. Put it on so people find you. Well, then you could have some time to practice. Yes, it's true. I will talk to you second in response to that question. Let me finish the 4 recap first, so then I'll get to you. So we'll get back to you, so don't go away. Second icon is the padlock for privacy. Limits who you can see your scopes. Again, I leave it off because I generally speak to everybody, which should say be open to everybody being seen. Third one is the speech bubble, which turns on who can comment or not on your scope. And the fourth one is Twitter, which is notifying Twitter when you do a scope, so it'll be seen by Twitter, and then for your followers to see it on Twitter. And also that lets catch.me know that you're doing a scope, so it'll store it afterwards. Now, back to your question, Inner Beauty Coach. What's your name, by the way? I didn't see that on the description. If you let me know your name, I can talk to you more directly. If you are a recent scoper, broadcaster, what you can call that, I can say one thing. The way to get good at this is just keep doing it. My first few were abominable, but they're gone now. I think I did 7 or 8 of them before I joined what's now what I'm doing consistently. And the first couple were scary. But they're gone now. So there's a certain relief about that. If you have an iPhone, I think it does in the Droid too, you can turn on auto saves. It does save it to your camera roll. But again, after 24 hours on Periscope, it's gone. So if you had a guilt about doing one last week, it's gone bye-bye, unless you saved it to Catch. If you're using catch.me, you can delete them from there too, to completely remove them from existence, if you prefer. So that's a way to get around it. But what I do recommend also, if you're getting used to using Periscope and you want some practice, I highly recommend joining the group that I'm part of, which is the 30-day Periscope Challenge. That group was started, actually this is day 23, so we're almost towards the end, but we're getting accelerated, and we're going to continue on afterwards. And some people just started today doing their scopes, even though they've been in the group for 3 weeks. So you can join in too if you like to. If that interests you, it's the 30-day Periscope Challenge. It's a Facebook group, but it's private. So if you want to be part of that, you just go to this following website I'll give you. A friend of mine's running it, and we're still going strong. And again, some people are still beginners. Her name is Michelle Whiteheart. So the website is Michelle with 2 L's, White the color, Heart without an E. So it's HART.com. So it's michellewhiteheart.com/Periscope. If you go to the website, opt in there, she'll send you a couple of key things right off the get-go, which gives you starting points, keys to make it easier, and you'll be dropped into a Facebook group where you can find out more about how we're working, who's not working, because a lot of people in the group, there's 130 of us in the group, I think it is right now. I only see about maybe 10 of us actually scoping regularly. The other 120 are still learning on just getting a feel for it, so you're ahead of the game if you're already scoping yourself. If you want to get more tips, I recommend joining our group for that. A couple other quick things. I mentioned titling at the beginning. Yes, titling, the start broadcast button, just get out there and do it. Also, if you are just learning to scope, I'm personally using a tripod as much as I can, or a stable platform, because a bouncy image is really annoying. Maybe for you too. So having a stable platform is good. If you're out walking around, you're doing a scope particularly because you're out walking around, then it's different. But if you're shooting a scope with a topic and you have a passion for it, put it on a tripod or something stable so you can be seen without, doing this all the time. Make sense? I've done a bunch of these Peri-tips, and usually they end up with being 3 or 4 keys in each Peri-tip, so this will help you get better at scopes. Also, this is one of the silliest ones that I heard about. So many people are out walking around doing the periscopes, walking with the phones down here, and so the first image on the scope was a picture of their feet. It's not the ideal image to have, so I'm now getting more conscious when I'm shooting my scopes of where my phone is pointing on the other side of it, because the back camera is what starts the scope, not the front camera. So I'm learning to sort of choose a better shot background, and although sometimes they're consistent because I'm shooting the same angle all the time. So a recommendation tip to you, which I need to do myself, is change the background you're shooting against, because it will change all the time. That's another tip. So these are a few things to keep you going, and see if anything else relevant. Did that answer your question, by the way, Miss Inner Beauty Coach? You get your answer from my suggestion for joining the group. And I hope you get some practice, because it is about practice. Oh, by the way, you notice I'm not wearing earbuds? Unless you're in a noisy environment, or you're very soft-spoken, you don't need earbuds. Your phone's microphone usually is strong enough to pick up your voice without working or stressing. So if you feel a bit clunky with that thing, just take them off. I don't use a microphone yet. I'm usually in quieter environments anyway. I choose that for my scopes, so I can speak relaxed and comfortable with you on the screen. All right? Thanks for the hearts again. Hope that all helps you with some things. If you have any questions, you can direct message me over Twitter, and I can answer your questions that way too. And I said, and I have a bunch of Peri-tips with my love scopes already stored on my Catch account. So it's catch.me, katch.me/barryselby. You find all my scopes there for the last 23 days. Although I missed Friday, I took a day off. So there's something like 28, 30 scopes up there now. I'll keep you entertained. Thanks for watching, and keep in touch, and follow me on Periscope, because I'm doing some good stuff now, and I'm getting more practice, so I'm getting more relaxed on camera. Come a long way in 20 days. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll get value from this scope and all the other ones I do, because my job, my mission, my passion is to give you things to make your life easier, better, more fun. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you later on. Bye.